Hey, we're World Entertainment, and we're going to review Happy Gilmore 2, which is now on Netflix. Kind of dropped out of nowhere. Thought it was meant to drop a little later, but it's dropped now, so you can watch it. Do they actually pull it off? Was it worth a, for God's sake, 29-year wait? That's right. 29 years ago was when Happy Gilmore came out. Was the sequel a good sequel? Did it live up to the first movie? It actually does. They've actually pulled it off. It's actually quite good. Now, one of the issues I do have with this movie is it does kind of do these long callbacks to the original movie by showing you clips of the original movie. So, like, if they start reminiscing about something, it shows you the clip from the original movie, which with some of the parts it makes sense because it's involving people that are now like 29 years later. And like the caddy, you remember the blonde caddy that Happy starts fighting thinking he was stealing his golf clubs in the first movie? We re-meet him and you would never think it was the same person. So that is why you kind of see an old clip and then you see these new people. Julie Brown, or Bone, we knew she was coming back and we knew she was saying, oh, I was surprised they brought me back and stuff, but she never seemed to be a part of the promotional stuff. And I always felt, I bet you anything they kill her off. This isn't much of a spoiler because she still does appear throughout the film, but yes, they kill her off. And that's what stops Happy from playing golf, she dies. I won't spoil how she dies, but she dies. But we get lots of flashbacks. Well, not flashbacks. When he goes to his happy place and stuff like that, he kind of updates it, but she's there, and he constantly has dreams with her and stuff like that. So she is throughout the movie. She's just not a prominent part of the movie like the first one. Shooter, he's in a nut house for the past 29 years, and every time he's up for parole, by the looks of it, for early release or whatnot, they kind of question him. He always seems to give the right answers until they push him on what happens if he sees Happy again, especially with the golden jacket. Then, of course, we have other characters. He's got, Happy this time has a full family. He's got 4 sons and 1 daughter. MJF, the wrestler, is one of the sons. Then Becky Lynch from WWE is in it as well. So what is the actual story for this movie is that he's hung up the golf clubs for the past 10 years. He's turned to drink. He's an alcoholic now, and he literally has it hidden everywhere. It's actually funny the way they do that. But this other guy is starting up this kind of extreme golf thing where it's going to destroy original golf. So it's basically the main tournament needs to try and stop this tournament from taking over. So they have to get 5 of their best to play 5 of their best, and whoever wins gets full control of golf. A lot of the main golfers that are around today in here, like, I mean a lot, and a lot of the old ones as well, like Nick Faldo's in there, Jack Nicklaus is in there, Rory McIlroy's in here, Scotty Scheffler's in here. They actually do a joke with Scotty Scheffler that I'm surprised he actually said okay to. I won't spoil it, but it's funny, and if you know anything about Scotty Scheffler, you will probably understand what I mean by that. Ben Stiller is back as Hal. This time he's meant to be, and he's actually a big part of this as well, he's meant to be a counselor for rehab, basically, but there's a whole thing with him. It's funny. John Daly lives with Happy Gilmore, which is funny. So Happy loses everything. He loses all his money. He loses Grandma's house, has to move out, and he ends up moving into this old rundown place across the road from Steve Buscemi, who is hilarious as well. He says nothing till near the end, but once he starts, it's funny as well with him. But there are a couple of things that they do that it does work, but at the same time, it's like you're really doing that because the other actors are no longer with us. So they do bring in a new version of the Jackass guy because he passed away last year, I believe. So they have a character who's meant to be his son. The same with the guy who played Jaws in James Bond, of course. You remember he was his old boss in the first movie with the nail in the head. Of course, that actor's passed away, so they have this other big tall dude playing the son who does look weirdly like him, and actually might be his actual son, I'm not sure. So they've stuff like that. Bad Bunny is in this. Bad Bunny plays Adam Sandler's new caddy. He's actually great in the movie. He's actually really funny in the movie. This guy is a singer, and yet the first time I ever actually saw him was in WWE, and the dude tore it up in the ring. It's like, holy crap, like, how did this guy that is a singer, I've never heard his music, but he's a singer, and all of a sudden, and now he's in this, and he's great in this. But John Daly is hilarious as well in it. He's living with Happy, and I think it's funny. The first time you hear him speak, he sounds like he's actually pissed. And it's funny because anyone that knows anything about John Daly is a recovering alcoholic. I think he still is, probably on the sauce, but he's nuts anyway. But they get him, the fact that they're doing this story with Happy being an alcoholic and they're getting rid of all of his hidden drink in front of John Daly, I thought was funny. Because it's like, he's actually an alcoholic. But they end up getting him addicted to drinking hand sanitizer. It goes places. It's funny. But Shooter, of course, you think, does he escape? He doesn't escape. He gets taken out by the guy who's opening this new extreme golf. And he wants Shooter to be a part of it until Shooter sees what it is. And he's like, nope. So it just goes from place to place. And it's funny. The way it works and what they do and what the golfers, actually real golfers, how much they get involved with it and stuff like that is funny as well. Like, they do things that you're like, I'm surprised they were willing to do that. And it's funny when it happens with stuff. But yeah, overall, for a movie that's 29 years in the making, it lived up to the first movie. It really did. And there are nice nods to the original cast who are no longer around. Like, they go, you've seen the clip, it's in the, I think they just released it as a clip, not the trailer, but of Happy meeting Shooter for the first time. It's in a graveyard. They're actually over Virginia's grave. But then you're seeing all these other graves. So you're seeing the grave of Grandma. You're seeing Bob Baker's, is it Bob Baker or Bob Barker? His grave, because of course he was in the original movie. You see the Jackass guy's name. Not like Jackass the TV show. The guy who was calling him Jackass in the original movie. And you see Chubb's headstone. And you do get clips of Chubb's from the original movie and stuff like that, which is cool. And we meet his son as well, which they do the same joke with the hand. Just that he loses it a different way. But there's not much of him. But he actually does work as well in the movie. It does take a little bit to get going in terms of the actual golf end of things. So it's not like he just goes right back into it and stuff. They do certain things, and it almost, when he first goes back playing golf, he wants to start out low, and it almost derails it. You think, oh, is this where it's going? Is this kind of going to be what this movie and jokes are like? But no, it immediately picks up even in that scene. So it does work. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I was expecting to. You know, I was very nervous going into this thinking, is this gonna work? You know, it's been so long since the original movie. And of course, his whole bloody family's in here. His actual daughter plays his daughter. His other daughter is in the AA meetings. You know, his sister plays, I'm not sure if she actually plays his sister in it or whether she just plays the ballet coach, but she plays a ballet coach anyway, training his daughter. And that's what gets him back into golf as well, is she gets a position to go to France for this ballet school, this top tier ballet school, and it's going to cost something like $75,000 a year to go there. And of course he's broke, so that's why he goes back into golf to start earning, because he's told even if you finish in the top 30, you win something like 40,000 or something like that. So that's what gets him back into the golf. And you know, when he updates his happy place, that's hilarious. Bad Bunny goes to a happy place, that's hilarious as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And again, the joke that Scotty Scheffler actually was willing to do, and like, it wasn't a small joke. They went really far with it. I was surprised that he was like, yep, I'm glad to do that. It's funny as hell. So yeah, I do recommend you check this out if you've been wanting to see it. If you're nervous about it, don't be. It actually does work. And again, they don't try and play off the whole tournament and stuff like that like they did in the original movie. Yes, there are throwbacks, and yes, as they said, there are these flashbacks, and you think the flashbacks are going to start getting out of hand, that they're just going to constantly throw them at you. They don't, which was good. I think if they went down that road, it could have derailed this even more, but thankfully they didn't. They held back on that. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. So give it a watch. It's on Netflix right now. So Happy Gilmore 2, 29 years in the making, lives up to the hype. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you've watched it, what you actually think of it. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.